Hello, hello. Sweet day 4 to you of our 5-day self-care challenge. Who is here with me? Who is here with me? I'm seeing you begin to show up. As always, it's just such an honor to be able to spend this time with you. And warms my heart, even though we're across the ethers and not shoulder to shoulder, snuggled up on my couch or yours. It's a powerful experience, really, to be able to, for us to be able to share time and space together. There you go. There's Julie Prohaska from Vernonia. Good morning, Britt. I'm enjoying your self-care program. Mindfully paid attention to the 5 senses this morning. Lit candles, listen to my muse, massage my skin, drank my water with lemon juice. There you go. And how did that impact you, Julie? I'm so curious. And for those of you who are showing up today, this morning, I'm super curious. What are you implementing? How are you using the teachings? How are these self-care practices? How is this day 4 of the 5-day self-care challenge greeting you? Let me know as you show up this morning here with me. Tell me how it's working for you. Tell me if you're just like, it's just all I got just to show up for this little video soiree, and then I go right back into my crazy world. Tell me. I just want to receive from you before I offer up our day 4 content. Good morning, Jessica Glendening from the Appalachians. Good morning, Des. Good morning, all these Facebook users. That's one of our curious challenges. There's the thing that says, hey, if you just, in the description, if you're on Facebook and you're watching this on Facebook, in the description, there's like an automated invitation for you to make your name known. And the way that you do that is by following that Streamlab link, and then it's all right there in the Facebook description. I'm not describing it as well as Streamlabs does, but that way it won't just say Facebook user and I'll know who you are. So who's here? Tell me. Tell me who's here. Tell me how you're using these teachings, how they're touching you. I know some of you are coming from Pilgrim, and this is just like a little subtle transition into self-care, all part and parcel of the whole, while others of you are brand new to me. So just seeing what we got here, what you got to say. Julie Prohaska, the Mamuse songs filled my heart and soul. Feeling good on this Thursday. Isn't it amazing what music can do? That's why I play music on some of our days together, is because for me, it's one of the ways in which that I really deeply touch into these teachings is simply through the music. I just go there again and again and again. And there's Jamie McWooten from Vernonia also. Good morning to you as well. I think of you often. I hope you're doing well. You guys had some crazy weather. Yeah. Okay, so continue to share what's alive for you, share how you're using these teachings, and I'll return to the stream as we go. Yeah, Jessica Glendening. It's really beautiful to absorb these ideas in a different and simpler way than we do in Pilgrim. Absolutely. It's for those of you who do Pilgrim, the Pilgrim Light goes right to the source of it. It acknowledges that everything's coming in and through those truth teachings, and I'm doing everything that I can to stay true to those truth teachings. Here, I just really want to reach out to anybody and everybody and say, hey, take good care of yourself, because the world needs you. The world needs you to rise. The world needs for you to be at your very best. And of course, it's the same message in and through Pilgrim. It's just packaged a little bit differently. Lisa Erickson, I'm here from Pilgrim. Yes, I checked out the music you suggested. Love it. Yeah, I'm a music girl. I'm a music girl and a foodie girl. Did you see the video? I did a little creamy, it's not creamy rice, because I think of creamy rice as like cream of wheat, which is my morning breakfast option. What I did is I went ahead and last night in my kitchen, after I took my shower, my hair was sort of all fluffed up in a halfway bun. my totally disorganized kitchen. But I'm like Karen Steele. I love to have my kitchen super clean before I go to bed. Because when I get up at first thing in the morning, I don't want to have dishes to do. I want all that done so that I rise in the morning. When I come in and make my tea, it's already completely organized. Anyway, I made some rice in coconut milk and with brown rice with coconut milk and cinnamon. And you'll see in one of the videos, you can see that I'm there. So I'm there with you both on YouTube. And actually, I'm not there for the YouTube. That was just in the Facebook group last night. But it's super simple. I'll explain it real quickly. All I do is I make rice. You can use brown rice or white rice. Brown rice will take a lot longer, so that's up to you. I was standing there for a good hour, just stirring my coconut milk, maple syrup, little dollop of butter, a little bit of Himalayan sea salt, and cinnamon, and that's it. And then that's like my total evening comfort food. So I had a little bowl of that. And I had my grapefruit because I was hungry yesterday. Yesterday was a hungry day. So it said, Britt, I made the rice this morning. It was most excellent. Yeah, that's me. I'm like, dessert for breakfast, breakfast for dessert. If it's good enough for me to start my day, then it's good enough for me to feed myself as a sweet treat. And I'm a dessert for breakfast girl all the way on. And I'm a breakfast for dessert. So there we go. Loving the continuation of Pilgrim in this simple self-care. We're grateful to you all. There we go. Okay, so we're going to jump on into our content. I'm going to stay true to a shorter timeline today so I can honor you and your time, your precious time, so you can get on with your day. So just a little bit of a reflection again on where we've been. We started with our day 0, and our day 0 was all about looking at stress response and relaxation response, right? They're both part of us. We in our culture, our westernized culture, if you're sitting watching this right now, you're part of that to some degree. We have habituated ourselves to spend a way heck of a lot of time in the stress response. And we hang out there because we're super productive there. We're single focused. We're intentional. We're potent. We're penetrating. We're all those masculine energies. But when we stay there too long, we burn out or we exhaust, right? We know that. So the whole point of this is, how do I spend most of my time in that relaxation response? And then when I need to call upon the stress response, I can slip back in there and go there. And you can train yourself to be as equally joyfully productive with more possibilities and more potential for your own success in that relaxation response. So that's what I'm offering, is that I'm here doing the work. I've got my green tea. I've been for my run this morning, went back to the dentist, right? I've had my full day of things that have been going on, laundromat, et cetera, and I can be super productive, and I can surround myself with essential oils and flowers and beautiful music and tending to myself and my senses in a way that serves me. So that's that life between relaxation response and stress response. Can I get out of that? Can I acknowledge when I'm in stress response and get out of there more readily so that I'm not hanging out there all the time? That's number one. That's the big key that we want to remember. Then we went right on into our day 1. And our day 1 was all about bookending our day with light, getting ourselves integrated with the rhythms of light and the rhythms of life. It's just like you just want to get into that rhythm and be with it. Once you're in that rhythm, it's a lot easier to get through life. You're not swimming upstream. You're not going against the grain. You're not fighting against what we call dharma, which is like rubbing the cat from the head to the tail. You get in alignment with those rhythms. It's super important. It's super important for your digestive system, your immune system, your cardiovascular system. It's important for your emotions. It's important for your clarity of mind. It's important for your peace of mind. It's important for yourself, your family, your community, the world, right? That's day 1. Day 1 was all about bookending your day with light. Then we moved into day 2, nature as medicine and mama. And we looked at the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether, right? Earth, water, fire, air, and ether, recognizing we live in these earthen bodies. So when we tend to this skin bag, we affect all of the other elements. And when we recognize that we are connected to earth, water, fire, air, and ether, or space, Ether can be called space also. When we're connected to all of them and we're cultivating connections to all 5 of those elements, we in turn are more grounded, more fluid, more nourished and nourishing, more inspired, and ultimately we recognize and recognize that we are ultimately free. We feel less trapped, we feel less bogged down, we feel less shut down or oppressed. All that stuff starts to go away and nothing's changing in the outside world. So how about that? Read a little bit of Viktor Frankl if you want to just get kind of a feel for how someone might do such a thing in terms of not feeling oppressed in an oppressed situation. So that's an interesting tangent that you might go down to explore that. And then we moved into day 3, which was yesterday, which is awaken all 5 senses. So now we're turning our attention to our eyes, our ears, our nose, our tongue, and our skin. And we're recognizing that when we turn our attention to the 5 senses, we show up right here in the body. And this is the only place that we can make change. This is the only place that when a speed bump in life comes, or a surprise party in life comes, or a phone call, or a diagnosis, or something challenging that we witness in the media, or in our family, or in our community, or in our world at large, when any of that's happening, we're able to come right back into those 5 senses, because we've tethered ourselves to the 5 elements which then tether ourselves to those 5 senses. And we are able to cultivate deep connection to relaxation response and turn toward relaxation response, right? That's what we want to do. Go in that way. You can use music. You can do anything that brings beauty into your eyes, into your ears, to your tongue, to your nose, to your skin. You can touch and be touched. Any of these ways that we practice. So that's our little review. Now we're moving into day number 4. Day number 4 is heal your home. And you know me, those who know me, I'm a yogini at heart. And so I couldn't help but put that Om in the little parentheses in your workbook. Why? Because that holds everything. Everything that is being initiated, beginning right now, that is part of the whole. Everything that is being sustained and maintained, that is part of the whole. And everything that is being transformed, transmuted, destroyed, shifted, changing, leaving, all of those things also are part and parcel of the whole, right? Nothing is to be rejected and nothing is to be bound to. So we're releasing our binding likes and dislikes, as we would say through the yogic lens. So when we speak about healing your home, we're going to look at it through 5 layers again. These 5 layers. We're going to talk about the planet. We're going to talk about our people. We're going to talk about our house, because we all live in our house or our home, our apartment, or the room in our mother's place, or wherever we are right now. It doesn't matter, a tent somewhere, or a tiny home somewhere, whatever it is. I'm just calling that house. And then we're going to talk about our body, this home, and then I'm going to talk about the heart, because that's our home also. So we're just going to move essentially through these 5. And again, I'm going to keep this shorter today so that I honor your time. And number 1, we're going to talk about one thing for the planet. So this is essentially recognizing that this entire planet is a place that is your home. And you're not going, my guess, you're not going, nor are you going to have the opportunity to go to any other planet in this lifetime. So how do we build connection for our planet? How do we tend to the plant and animal kingdom? How do we bring reverence to the plant and animal kingdom in our own lives, right? How do I do that, right? What's the way in which that I can bring great reverence for the plant and animal kingdom into my home, into my life at large, right? I just did that little thing. I can take the water that I drink. This happens to be green tea, my green tea from this morning that I haven't finished. So I can take a little bit of that green tea, if it's just water, and I can anoint my very own brow, right? I can anoint my very own brow. When I go to the rivers, I can anoint my very own brow. I can recognize that I have a certain amount of disposable income, and I can turn those resources to protecting the waters for other people, for providing food for other people, right? I can do those things. I can protect the waters. I can protect the old growth forests, right? I can do all of these things. I can protect the animals, right? So I look at the planet as a whole, the creatures that live on the planet, the flora and fauna, the waters of the planet. How is it that I am doing something for the planet? Why is that self-care? Because you live here, because that's your home. It's like, I think of it like in Spanish, quetzal, spiral, right? It's like, I'm looking for my little seashell, but it's not here, it's on my altar. So it's the outer layer, the planet, and then that planet rolls into your people, and then that rolls into your house or your home or your tiny home or your apartment, and then into your body, and then into your heart, the heart of hearts. So how is it that I can practice some sort of self-care for the planet, right? That's what I'm offering up. That's where we want to turn our attention. How do I do that? Okay, that's number one, the planet. Number two is one thing for your people. So these might cross over. You might do something for the water, right? Protecting waters, right? Turning away from anything that is negatively affecting quality water for individuals. And this is actually, for those of you who are part of Pilgrim also, this is what we call those Panchamahayagyas. This was part of that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just la 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 la, right? But these are the plants and animals. How do I turn to the plants and animals? And how do I turn to my people, right? How is it that I'm carrying something in my car with me, in my vehicle with me, in my bag with me, extra granola bars, right? Something that when someone is in need, small change, whatever it is, so that when someone is in need, I'm able to just ever so simply just offer that to them. Because that is part, I am the world and the world is me. Whatever I see happening in the natural environment, that too is happening in me. What is ever happening to my people is happening in me. You are a microcosm. You are made up of the exact same, remember this, we talked about this in the beginning, you are made up of the exact same compounds, microelements, etc., 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 as the planet itself, as the planet itself. And so in this way, I'm just simply reminding us that when I care for the planet, I'm caring for myself. When I care for myself, I'm caring for the planet, right? It's a mutual respect. You could go for a long walk and just decide that you're going to take 4 hours in nature, not have your cell phone, no photos, no journal, no nothing, and you're just going to listen to the wind. You're going to let the wind kiss your skin. You're going to let the sun penetrate you. We've talked about these things, right? We've talked about these things. You're going to let your feet touch the earth, like your bare feet touch the earth, even if it's chilly and wet and muddy. Never you mind, no big deal. Can you enjoy that just as it is? You might take a little bit of mud and rub it on your navel. You might go to the river and let those waters anoint your brow. From the river, just slip a little bit of dew off of a blade of grass in the morning and anoint your brow. Or in your morning walk, touch the leaves and anoint your brow. I'm here to say all those things, as crazy as they might sound, they will shift the nervous system from which you are operating. They will shift the way that you move through life. Similarly, how is it that I do one thing for the planet? I vote with my dollars in favor of high quality, well-resourced, good for the planet, good for the people, fruits, vegetables, if you're a meat eater, meats, whatever those things may be, so that there's no disconnect between you and those essential aspects of nature. So that's that. So you've got planet. What's the one thing I could do for my planet? What's the one thing I could do for my people? What's the one thing I could do for my house? Now, your house doesn't really care, but I know that you care when you spray something to clean the bathroom and there's that little voice in your head saying, don't breathe, this could cause cancer. So if you're using that, maybe the one thing you do for your house in terms of self-care is just hop on Pinterest and do a do-it-yourself, like healthy home cleaning supplies, right? Something like that. Or go ahead and change out Clorox bleach for vinegar, or any of those things, those little subtle things, right? The white bleached coffee filters for the unbleached coffee filters, the toothpaste that is Crest or Colgate, trading that out for something that has fewer additives, right? Any of those things that you can do for your house. Noticing that when you buy something, right, you buy something, about this yesterday at the little secondhand store. So I could have probably found, this is just, I'm really into green. Green's my color, baby. Green's been my color my whole life. Well, actually, orange was my color when I was a little girl, but that's a whole other story. Boy, was it my color. If you know anything about food jags, I was on a food jag. My mom had to dye everything orange in order for me to eat it. I'd only wear orange underwear. I'd only wear orange clothes. I'd only eat orange food. It was a problem. I was a problem for a while. But now I'm a green girl. So luckily I eat a lot of green foods. So, but here's my point with this. My point is, I could buy something that was made by sweat labor. I could buy something that looked like it's old but isn't really old. You can find those sorts of things in all your big box stores. And then you go, oh, this looks so cool and old. And then you flip it over and it says made in Bangladesh, made in China, made in, and it's not about where it's made. It's that it's brand spanking new. And there's a gazillions of them that are made by people who are probably not being treated very well, so that you can get a very cheap product. That's very different than going into your secondhand store, which many of you know this about me, going into your secondhand store. And this was made by someone with the initials EN. EN. And so I know this was handmade as a project from someone's heart. A little glazed white on the inside. And now I have a little dish for my paper clips. That's exciting to me. That makes me happy. So that's a way in which that I might heal my home, is going in this direction, not running out and buying more things, but going in this direction instead of going in the direction of buying things that are mass produced at the expense of the planet and our people. Okay, so there's that. So we got one thing for the planet, one thing for your people, one thing for your house, one thing for your body. It's the same sort of thing, just turning in that direction. What sorts of oils am I going to use? What sorts of skincare products am I going to use? What sort of toothbrush am I going to use? See how that just did planet, home, people, for your people in your whole house, swapping out those toothpastes, like having your good new, even Tom's of Maine's up Maine, although it's been bought out, never you mind. You can go to my favorite website, which is Vitacost, not my favorite website ever, but I love going to Vitacost when I'm in the United States and buying herbs and buying teas and buying skincare products and healthcare products, lots of good stuff there. So you can buy products that are natural in that way. Good for your body. What am I putting on my body? What am I putting in my body, right? Tending to that. Natural as possible. That's all. Right? What mascara do you use? What lip gloss do you use? What sort of essential oils are you anointing your body with? Are they giving your body information that lives in your cellular memory, in your DNA as a plant that lives on this planet, like night blooming jasmine, right? Or are you feeling that, and is that impacting you? And is instead what's happening is you are spraying your body with something artificial that your body doesn't know what to do with. Your body doesn't know what to do with all those funky things. It doesn't know what to do with cheap oils that we put on our body or in our body. It doesn't know what to do with fat-free anything. It doesn't know what to do with artificial colors and artificial flavors and artificial sweeteners. Those are not taking us where we want to go, but your body has trust. Here's the tricky part. Your body still has trust and is still looking for balance. And because our diet has changed more in the last 50 years than it changed in the previous 50,000 years, did you hear that? Our diet has changed more in the last 50 years than it has changed in the last 50,000 years. The greatest thing you can do is return yourself to the sweet simplicity of eating close to the planet, of not eating until you're totally full, of giving yourself 12 hours at night where there's no food, no calories being consumed. 12 hours. So if your last meal is at 7 p.m., nothing. No leche in tu café, no. No milk in your coffee, nothing until after 7 in the morning. Give yourself 12 hours every 24 hours where you're not taking in anything that is caloric. This affects the whole being. This affects your body's ability to purify itself. And when the body is pure, it's not dumbed down, it's not numbed out, and it's able to function more fluidly. It's able to function more gorgeously in general. So we want to turn our attention to that however we can. So that's one thing for our body. And then finally, one thing for our heart, because this is how this works. When we are aligned with the planet, when we are aligned with our people, when I see that I am the world and the world is me, I am you and you are me. Whatever I see and experience you going through, that is me and or could be me in a different situation. If you're blowing up in anger, it could be me. That could happen to me. If you're stifling your anger and getting sick and getting diseased as a result, or acting out over here, that could be me too. I have done, will done, or at least have the potential to do the exact same thing. I am the world and the world is me. When I'm interconnected to the planet as a whole, when I'm interconnected to my people as a whole, when I'm interconnected to my home, that means I enter my home and I feel as though I am in a place and a space that is nourishing for me. It doesn't have to be much of anything. It can be a single room. But have what you have with intention. Have your space, your little perch, have that be a place of intention. And so when you turn your attention to these ways in which of healing your home, meaning all of it, from planet all the way in and through your body, what ends up happening is it touches deeply your heart. Because your heart, when we care for all these other things, there's less white noise, there's less static, and you're going to hear the messages. So what can you do for your heart? This circles us back to the little story about Suzanne, where she had that little indication that came in and through her body, where she was knowing that this is a place she wanted to go, and it looked like that, or your eyes get big, or joy comes up and over your whole being, or your belly feels like you have a fire in your belly, or whatever it may be, you tap into, you touch into, you return to again and again and again and again, the heart. This is paying close attention. Self-care is paying attention. When I pay attention to the little tiny bumps in the road, oh, I'm thirsty. Oh, I said that, but it's very diluted, my green tea at this point. So this is my second steep of my green tea, and there's some cashew milk in the bottom because I ran off to the dentist and didn't finish my tea. But if you're thirsty, if your tummy's just a little bit hungry, that's not so bad. You can leave your tummy a little hungry for a little while, but not too long, or the body goes, oh, you're not listening to me anyway, and just stops asking. Thirst. If you're thirsty, get that going. My body right now, I've been sitting for a while. I'm just going to stand on up. Makes a difference. This is self-care. How do I move that energy? Opening up my feet, just shifting my hips side to side. This is just a way in which that I remember again and again that this body is the only home I'm going to have in this life. So I'm paying close attention to it. I'm tending to it. No matter what, and I'm honoring those messages, and I'm saying, yeah, I get it, right? I get it. From planet to people, to your home, to your body, to your heart. So what does it look like? So tell me, before we end, because it's 12:30 my time, 10:30 Pacific Standard Time, tell me, how does this touch you? What can you see that you could do? What are the things that you could do? Tell me, just anything. You don't have to make a big old commitment to it, but what's something that you could do today? And is it something that you have the desire to do, the capacity to do? And then thirdly, remember, are you willing to do it? Remember, we talked about that yesterday. So tell me, I want to hear from you. I'm just going to shift this now that I'm standing. It's cutting off my head. Tell me, tell me, tell me. Susie Applegate, Susan Applegate, you're here. Very good. Cindy Swighton, spending lots of time with you today. Honored to do so. Kathy, good morning. Happy to be here with all of you. Also feeling good today about the practical applications of this self-care program. Yeah. Good morning, chica. No sé quién eres, pero I don't know who you are, but because it says Facebook user, but I know I love you. That I know. Denise, good morning. I made the rice this morning. It was most excellent. I think more than one of you made the rice for breakfast. There it is. Very good. So tell me, what is it? What is it that you could do? Give me an example. What's something you could do for the planet? Maybe you're moving a flyer around that you've been meaning to tend to. Maybe there's the Heifer Foundation. You have to buy a birthday gift for a grandchild or a child, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to buy that thing that they want, but I'm also going to go to this. I think it's called the Heifer Foundation, where you can actually buy a share of a cow for someone in a village or something like that. You know, what is it that you can do in that regard? There we go. So tell me. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what's working, right? Can you do that for me? Can you turn your attention to how you might heal your home? Perhaps something for the planet, perhaps something for your people, perhaps something for your house. What's one thing you can do for your body? What's one thing you can do for your heart? Tell me. Because we're trying to bring everything back into alignment, right? That's what we're trying. That's what we're going for. Because that's where we get to choose. That's where we can lean on in and through those self-care practices. And that's where we can turn our attention back yet again and again and again and again to the relaxation response. Kathy Tamer McIntosh says, this all made me feel grateful for living in a small town where we get local eggs and other closely sourced food. And yes, Heifer International is a good organization. That's what it's called. Thank you. Contribute to our local food bank. Absolutely. Right. As you're sharing your options. Oh, thank you. Your happy sniffer friend. Don't know why my name doesn't show up. Been enjoying Facebook user. Happy sniffer friend, Suzanne. There you are. I love you so. Make that call to my friend whose daughter works at Hunger Coalition to set up volunteering. Yeah, absolutely. You guys, it's just the tiny little things. A regular cycle of micro grants going through Kiva and their lending partners. Yes, Jessica, you can do that for your organization as well. Helping women, small businesses all over the world. Absolutely. What else? A friend of mine who recently lost his daughter to an overdose. I plan writing him a letter and making a donation to the homeless shelter his daughter was in. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Blessing bags. This is a big one. Stephanie's on a big one. I love doing this. I love going to the dollar store and doing exactly what Stephanie does. She calls them blessing bags. That's gorgeous. Socks, water, toothbrush, and paste, stable packaged foods, lip balm, stay in my cart to give as I see those in need. Exactly. I love doing that. There it is. Perfect. Well, thank you all for sharing today. If there's any other questions lingering, I invite those in at this time. If there's nothing else at this time, then we will wrap up today just at 34 minutes. And I will be back with you. You will be back with me tomorrow for our day 5, our final day of this 5-day self-care challenge. Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? You can find me on Facebook. You can email me, Britt at BrittBSteele. Thank you for being here. Sending so much love. Have a glorious day. Big love. Ciao.